In this video, I'd like to talk about attachments and a little bit more about the darker ones, okay? Like we said, there are many different kinds of attachments that can occur on a client, and there are attachments that are not so friendly, that have really powerful energies influencing a client in many ways. And I may just throw a little bit with labels around, okay? Go just a little bit into the understanding about the dark energies, okay, and the labelings. Not to go into religion or philosophical avenues, just to make an idea what we might talk about. Okay, when we talk about dark energies, we have to understand in our reality, there's the yin-yang reality, the light and the shadow, the hot and the cold, and not everything is just love. Of course, love is at the end, the top thing, but we are in a reality where the dark energies are around to teach us things. Okay, and there are different levels of dark energies and dark entities, if you want to call it that way. Now let's label a few things. When you hear people talk about the devil or the Satan, or they talk about the dark energies or dominions or archons, or even some labeling like reptilian ETs, so it goes a little bit in that direction. Now, there are many different ones, but just to have an idea what we might talk about. So even in religion, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, in their scriptures there are descriptions of they try to explain about dark things, dark energies, and they depicted them on pictures, and in all kinds of religion we read about that. And in philosophy, everywhere we go back in time, there were people actually talking and writing about those influences, okay? And they gave them names, all kinds of names that we can refer to, if it's religious or not, out of the Gnostics, out of the religions, philosophies, all different kinds of names. And we would like to not really use those labels, so we are going to talk about the dark energies or the dark ones. Dark not as a color, dark as the energy, okay? To not offend any people here. So I want you to give us an example about something. We have many examples already, but give our listener an example.
Well, an example would be, let's do as surrogate. I've done a few of these where the client themselves might be angry, and what can come through is anger as an emotion, which is in a lower frequency level. And whether you want to call them, there's really no names. They're all pretty much somewhat similar, maybe different energies. And I don't like to label the names. I know you were just talking about the different names for that. And so basically they will come through extreme anger, almost uncontrollable in some way, and
very violent sometimes.
Very violent. As a hypnosis practitioner, you really, when you do this work too, realize that there cannot be any fear coming into the session. So it's all about complete compassion and love when you're dealing with these darker entities or forces or whatever they may be. What I'm pretty much trying to say is there's no fear going into this, because basically they're lost just as well, and they're trying to find their way, and compassion and love is the best thing that you can give to these certain type of energies. And so I have felt them through myself.
Yes.
And they can be very, very strong, and very controlling of a certain individual. And for me to do the work, and as you help me guide me through these, I have to be very centered within myself. So that way we're able to help and release whatever needs to be released within that certain client.
Yeah, and I can tell you when we have sessions and we work together, those energies are sometimes really nasty, not just there and talk about why they're there or influence the client. They can start really shaking the body of Heidi or even the clients that we would have.
And they're trying to taunt you a lot of times to cause fear.
Use a lot of nasty words towards you. They start to hiss. They can start to bark or show you the teeth. Even try to attack you physically.
Yes.
I mean, really, the client itself would never thought of something like that. They would not be that kind of person, but in the session, there's really nasty stuff coming out. So, what else there?
And also, through let's take an example of a haunted house. There might be someone that contacts us, or me, or you, whoever, and anyone that deals with this is there's things going on unusual in the home, or it's targeting a certain person within that home, and that can also be more of a negative entity. And if it is targeting a certain individual within that home, we go to that person who is being targeted and pretty much do an interview with that person, because if you're in a lower vibration, it's easier for them to become attached due to trauma or certain events, past lives. Sometimes that can be as well. So they're brought in even before you're in this lifetime. But trauma is an extreme an example of maybe why more of a negative entity might attach to your aura field as well.
Or the chakras and the emotional state of the person. Yeah, I would say another very interesting example we can give out of the blue is people that have addictions. Okay, let's say alcoholics, strong alcoholics. Don't talk about one glass a day. Alcoholics that really have to go to the bar every day and just come home really in a bad shape.
Yeah.
They are in a very low vibratory rate, so they're in the bar, and there it's where many of those energies are hanging around to just wait for the right host. Maybe there is a person very, very angry, violent, and needs a drink every evening, and to maybe relieve a little bit of that anger through the drink.
Yes, and then
And then that's it, okay?
That energy senses that is a lost soul or energy, and then it feels that.
Yeah, or a dark one. A dark one that okay, this person already has capabilities of being angry and violent. We're gonna use him.
Yes.
And influence this person to whatever they want him to do.
Yes.
And that can be everything. Yeah. In this case.
Absolutely.
I would say there would be much more, but we're going to stop here maybe.
And talk more about that in our future videos.
Yes. Okay. Well, don't be afraid if you have clients that are starting to act a little bit differently. Get your knowledge how to deal with it and help them.